Good morning, everybody. Bama Buckeye, good morning, shalom. Got the sun coming in here. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Bear Not So Daily Anymore brief, the Bear Special Report. 102,500 of you. I appreciate y'all. If y'all had better smack the thummy thing, I like that. Please smack the thummy thing. Shalom, sister. If you're lurking in the shadows, stop. That stuff's weird. Just subscribe already. Click the little bell icon. YouTube will pretend to notify you. For $1 a month, you can get on to Patreon, where we will notify you every day, as well as have access to all the exclusive content that lives there. Good morning, Patriot Plumber. Sorry to hear about the no buck thing. He's talking about a deer stand buck, not a greenback fiat currency. Intel goes to intel@bearindependent.com. Please email us there. Tell the dance monkeys what a freaking tremendous job they do. And that's about it. Let's get started. So we have a series of vignettes that we're going to do this morning. The first is war worries, invasion from China, homemade gummy bears. First, some myth busting. Tensions are high and there are too many unanswered questions, but many bear nationals have sent in concerns of the presence of PLA or Chinese troops in Canada, allegedly for the purpose of invading the United States. Many minor news outlets have said something like the following, quote, according to the Canadian Independent Press Review, subquote, under the terms of the Foreign Investment Protection Act, FIPA, F-I-P-A, a bilateral treaty ratified with China by the Trudeau government in 2019, Chinese security forces can be stationed on Canadian soil to protect vital Chinese investments without the knowledge or consent of local authorities, end quote. If the named original source for this exists, it is deeply buried. Neither the quote nor the Canadian Independent Press Review could actually be found. What the FIPA does do is enable Chinese corporations to challenge Canadian policies or laws that interfere with profits from things such as pipelines and mines, which, a little bit of editorializing here, in of itself sounds like a really bad deal for Canadians in the first place, but it does not say that the Chinese can randomly send their military to Canada to invade the United States and or invade Canada. And editorializing. Still, it would be arrogant to believe that the United States is immune from invasion, though the idea of a successful invasion is nearly unfathomable at this time. What is within the current realm of possibility is either A, an extended Cold War with China, or B, open military conflict in the South Pacific theater. So if you like, we can discuss those things for a hot moment. An extended Cold War with China, how does that affect us? What is war, but at its most basic level, a game of resources? Good morning, Bear Engine. Many of the things that we consume and use on our daily basis come from China. Now, I believe that it's incredibly important that we continue to spin up American manufacturing, but we are not at a capacity to replace the Chinese goods that come into this country. And frankly, in some instances, the Chinese goods exceed the domestic goods in quality for consumable products like plywood, for example. Certain plywoods, hardwood plywoods that come out of China, that I know this firsthand, are better quality than the American-produced hardwoods. So, therefore, the American market should get better and make a better product, not just depend on the fact that, well, it's made in America. So, a long-term Cold War with China is a game of resources, meaning that we should control as many of our resources, our own resources, as possible, supply chains and logistics as possible, knowing that China owns roughly 1/3 of American farmland because they themselves don't produce enough resources to support their own people. So, good morning, overall living. So, Cold War's game of resources. An open military conflict in the South Pacific theater is also a game of resources, but now with bullets flying. So, it's an even more intensifying grab for control of land, control of resources, control of food, water, shelter, bodies, territory. So, while it may seem that yes, the PLA is amassing on our northern border so that they can just duck in here and begin to lay waste, first of all, they're not. Second of all, Woodsy, if they did at this point, it would cause them a whole lot of trouble with very little return on investment. What would China actually stand to gain by trying to invade the United States from Canada right now? Nothing. Why would they do that overtly? They wouldn't. Any military strategist knows that to take an underwhelming force overtly across a national border into the sole military superpower's territory is an egregious act of aggression that will result in open warfare. This is a nothing burger. This is not real news. So, I absolve you of the responsibility you feel to be concerned about it, because it's not real news. Okay? Okay. Keep it up, Rooster, and you're next. Now, the weekly threat matrix, because it's been very Sakoti around here. Reunite with BLM and Antifa comrades. No. Negative. The PLA is a standing foreign army. BLM is a Luciferian doctrine-based privatized organization, and Antifa are the useful idiots for the Marxist revolution that is currently ramping up here in the United States of America. Really, a-hole? Do it one more time. Go ahead. I dare you. Thank you, sir. The nail that sticks up gets hammered down. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I'm gonna stick my head behind this steel T-post.
Oh, that's fire. That's the one my wife likes. She's like, that one. Don't kill that one. Really, guy? Really, guy? In the middle of my live show? He's like, I'm armored. I'm behind a T-post. You know what? I was going to shoot right next to you anyway, just to teach you a lesson. Ooh. Run away. All right. He knows he's the favorite. Well, thank you, Mr. Phelps. I can stay there. It's all right. All right. Weekly threat matrix. Economic crisis. Yes, child. No, she's not. Economic crisis. Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said that it was unlikely that the newest stimulus package would pass before the election, but Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says the U.S. economy needs more fiscal support to avoid a weak recovery. You cannot print money to dig yourself out of a financial hole. That math doesn't work. Unless you believe in modern monetary theory, which I do not. And if you do, then we're now diving deeper into the realms of socialism, which is bad juju. So, I have half a mind that perhaps the reason that the government is the Trump presidency is cool with printing all this money is to at least get it into the hands of people who will spend it to arm themselves, literally and figuratively, against what is coming. And I have half a mind that they don't care because they're the government and spending money is what they're good at doing. Civil unrest. Milwaukee has experienced unrest most recently after a black officer shot a black 17-year-old, and I hate the fact that that even matters in this reporting. After a black officer shot a black 17-year-old in self-defense when he discharged a stolen firearm. The decision to not charge the officer led to rioting that destroyed BLM supporting businesses and homes. We will have more on that little tidbit here in a moment when we dive deeper into the brief. War. China is outfitting its troops on the disputed Sino-Indian border with winter gear, meaning that they're planning on staying there a while. And Chinese analysts have said that Pompeo's allegations that China has amassed 60,000 troops on the border is an attempt to sow discord. This border dispute has been going on for a long time. We've been reporting on it for a long time. It's not new. 60,000 troops on the border could be exercises. It could be a stopgap measure to keep tensions between the Indians and the Chinese actually lower, to just settle in for the winter. It causes the opposition to count the cost of coming across that border. China is going to put 60,000 troops on the border of India to keep India. Thank you, Hillbilly Homesteader. I got this from a brother and a friend. China's going to put 60,000 troops on the border of India to prevent to prevent an active dispute over a small piece of land. And we're worried about a few thousand troops in Canada to take over all of the United States. See what I mean? That's complete and utter bullcrap. And 60,000 sounds like a lot. It ain't a lot. Not when it comes to a land war in Asia. That's not a lot of people. Tyranny. De Blasio and Cuomo's targeting of the Orthodox Jewish communities in New York has left a bad taste in the mouths of many. Hypocrisy of declaring religious groups guilty of creating super spreader events while exonerating the masses of protesters and even rioters from any similar blame amounts to aberrant duplicitousness. By the way, shout out to the Dance Monkeys for putting the phrase aberrant duplicitousness in this report, and shout out to my face for managing to get those words out with only half a cup of coffee in it thus far, and shout out to the Weeze for wearing a super awesome Frozen onesie. Would you like to say hi to the people? Yeah. Goodbye. What are you doing? Meep is not a word. Listen, it's Monday. Daddy started his Nazarite vow this morning. And I got a bunch of stuff to do today. And so my proclivity for grumpiness is very high. You need to go do something. Go get with Bubba and Nine. Go on with you. Disinformation. The ISACA election security survey showed that concerns of misinformation and disinformation disrupting a free and fair election have overtaken technical security concerns. And Bill Evanina, a senior official coordinating U.S. election security intelligence, has warned that more aggressive disinformation attempts concerning COVID-19 are expected leading up to the election and beyond. He noted that the First Amendment is, quote, an open wound for our adversaries to utilize, end quote, as multiple countries attempt to use social media posts and statements against Americans. I still feel like the actual election results will be a landslide for Trump, but that the Democrats are going to do everything that they can to make it seem otherwise. Yes, my love, how are you? You're going to get dressed and go to the office. Copy. Who's watching the little person? That fridge doesn't work. Yeah. I left that out for you in case you wanted more. If you don't, leave it there because I'll want more. Okay. Who's got her this morning? Bo. Please tell him to do his job. Okay. I'm gonna go do mine now. Okay. It's gonna be one of them days, folks. It's gonna be one of them days. We're already there. It already is one of those days. I think we are going to have a landslide election for President Donald J. Trump. And I think that the Democrats are going to pull every trick in the book to dispute the election. They've already stated that they are not going to accept the election results and that they are going to undermine said election results and create actual chaos here in the country. I just shot a video yesterday about Civil War, surviving Civil War II, and it's not a clickbaity title. I went through line by line by line, giving examples from the first American Civil War and showing how those tactics are being used today, now, and how they could be employed in the very near future, and what we need to do about those things. So, I think that that's what the Democrats are pushing for, Hegelian dialectic to widen the divide in this country, the thesis, antithesis, synthesis. They control the synthesis. They want to control the synthesis because it gives them even more power, even more control. The current financial system is busted, and they're okay with it. That's why they don't mind about printing more and more money. It's not backed by anything other than faith in the dollar. It's just ones and zeros. It has no inherent value. It's just paper. It's just ones and zeros. They're fine with it. The numbers have been rigged for a long time as far as the financial aspect of our daily existence. And so the great reset on that, with the soft landing provided by COVID-19, coupled with the civil unrest that we're currently experiencing here in the United States of America, this color revolution that's ongoing, that's being fermented by the big they that are the Democrats and our leaders in Washington, our elected representatives, the vast majority of which are scumbags. All of that's coming to a head in November. And I think Donald J. Trump is going to win the election fair and square, but I think he is very likely going to have it robbed from him. And this could be the perfect storm for actual civil war in the United States of America. And if that happens, bigly, if that happens, you have got to be freaking ready for it, because I'm about out of patience to keep screaming at y'all and telling you to stack through to the rafters, find people to do life with, start actually using your stuff, go do the things, not sit around and talk about it. Okay? If you don't have a pallet full of toilet paper hidden somewhere after March, we're just playing. If you don't have food, water, shelter squared away, we're just playing. If you got a bug out bag and you don't have a bug out plan, we're just playing. And I say this in love, we don't play here. I want every one of you to be in positions of strength. I don't want y'all following me. I want y'all leading your people where you are. I don't want 102,000 followers. I want 102,000 leaders. Okay? So please, eyes on, ears on, switch them on, and start taking this stuff seriously, but without all the hype of, oh no, the Chinese are going to invade the United States of America. What? Negative. All right, and now the actual daily report. In February, Officer Joseph Mensah, who is black, fatally shot a black 17-year-old after he had fired a stolen firearm. It was determined that he had acted in self-defense, so he was not charged, the officer. After the recent announcement of that decision, Black Lives Matter rioters smashed windows of homes and businesses, tore up yards, and looted stores in a Milwaukee suburb. One man was heard screaming, "Tear up the white folks shit." Some of the businesses reportedly had BLM signs in their windows but were still targeted. One of the residents came out and told the mob that ruined his yard, "Do you have any idea how many Democrats, how many MPS teachers, union members, and other people that support you live on this street?" Useful idiots eating their own. This encapsulates the growing issue that is this new form of mob violence that has no target and needs no justification. Reiterate. This encapsulates the growing issue that this new form of mob violence has no target and needs no justification. A justified shooting between two black men can cause violence and property damage against residents and store owners supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. In general, the higher the population, there's that again, the more risk there is for damaging and prolonged unrest. But smaller population centers have also experienced issues this year. Again, many experts believe civil unrest and violence will erupt during the presidential election this year, causing chaos in the streets. Mr. Phelps, there's a multicam product in the back corner of that box right there. Please to have. Thank you, Mr. Phelps. Oh, this is the old school one, right? Because the new one's right there. Oh, that's the one I'm looking for. That's a sack of coffee. There we go. So this one's mine. You can't have it. This is a Gen 1. But this is the Gen 2.5 right here. Bare minimum. And if there's going to be chaos in the streets, you might want to have one of these. Handmade, made in America, guaranteed forever. We now have the production capacity to produce and ship like 1,200 of these a month. Praise the Most High. So we're growing this business with y'all, and we appreciate you deeply. Your patience is appreciated because if you haven't noticed, the world's trying to be on fire. Just order mine. Bless you. So this is the bare minimum. It's about that big, okay? Somebody wrote to me and they said, "Bear, you have big hands," because I got mine in the mail and I didn't realize it was that big. It's about that big, okay? It has a molly field on the back. Again, hand-stitched, made in America, guaranteed forever. If you break this, I want to know how you broke this so I can make it better so it doesn't break again, okay? If you have an issue, you grab this tab and you pop this open and you look for the red. Pull the red out, okay? This stays on your kit. This comes out where you can use it. I mean, many men and women run these on the back of their pistol belts, their range belts, their war belts. Red Frog, our friends up in the Pacific Northwest, they run theirs in the small of the back on their war belts. So that you can reach around and get it out where you can use it, rather than having your kit in the back where you can't see what's in it. Pull the freaking inner out and now you can see, you can work with it, okay? You get your combat gauze right there on the top. That's available as an additional at checkout with the kit. So quick clot combat gauze right there on top. Pop that tab open. There you go. You've got your surgical tape right here that's retained with this Velcro tab. But if you got to get it out, right, it's just Velcro. Now it comes out. Let me put that back together like so. I don't want Okie Storm Chaser getting mad at me. He's been building a bunch of these for us lately. So, all right. So you got your tape, 6-inch emergency trauma dressing, 14-gauge decompression needle, Gen 7 cat tourniquet, current military issue cat tourniquet. A pair of nitrile gloves is right there. And then down here in the bottom, as you can see, we've got our 7¼ inch North American Rescue trauma shears. And we've got, this is our stack that goes in the bottom. We've got our trauma shears, our nasopharyngeal airway, 2 5x9 gauze pads, and 2 high-fin chest seals, because bullets tend to go through things, not into things. So you have an in-hole and an out-hole. And also, you may not know this, but you actually, or at least the vast majority of us, have 2 lungs, left and right. So 2 chest seals. A lot of kits only come with 1 chest seal, and a lot of kits come with compact chest seals. Not that I necessarily have an issue with compact chest seals. We include those in some of our kits, but when we have the opportunity to take full-size chest seals, I want full-size chest seals. So, I didn't build that one. There's no Sharpie in it. Yeah, roger that. Yeah, if you get a kit that came with a free Sharpie, Okie built that one. So anyway, you can get these at the store at bearindependent.com. They're HSA and FSA eligible. You can use promo code BearNation for 10% off everything in the store, including our TCCC and Stop the Bleed classes. So you can literally use your health savings account for Stop the Bleed and TCCC classes. Texas, I'm disappointed in you. North Texas, Tulsa is beating you out significantly as far as attendees for the upcoming training events. So I guess Texas really isn't as Texas thinks it is. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did just say that. North Texas classes, there's still some openings available for one date. The other one's sold out. Tulsa, there's like 2 slots left. And you can use your HSA and FSA for those as well. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for helping us grow this business. Literally, we could not do it without you, and we could not do it without the blessing of the Most High. And for those who are brand new here and are unaware, the mission statement of this business is to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom and experiencing the abundance of His provision and blessing. So thank y'all for being a part of that. We appreciate you deeply. Now, Yelp will add alerts to business pages, quote, when there's resounding evidence of egregious racist actions from a business owner or employee, end quote. It is unknown what will constitute as resounding evidence, but one can only hope this label will only be used in true cases of racism rather than be abused as another tool of mob rule. What do you think's gonna happen? By the way, if you haven't hit that little thumbs up button yet, you should, please and thank you. A Harvard business researcher found in 2011 that a rating increase of 1 star can equate to as much as a 9% increase in revenue for a business. I would agree with that. Not that I use Yelp, because they're a pain in my ass anytime I try and pull it up on my phone. I don't have their app, and I don't want to download their app, and I don't, when I look something up on Google, the evil machine, to try and find a restaurant and it recommends that I download the Yelp app, I ain't gonna do that. But I do look at how many stars said business has. So, the ones with really low stars, I don't patronize. So I can certainly understand that. So only time will tell just how tyrannical Yelp feels that they need to be. And hopefully, if they get super woke, they will feel the negative effects of their wokeism as people run screaming from their service to perhaps patronize somebody else that isn't as woke. I'm over the wokeness. What about you, chat? Y'all? Over the wokeness? Yep. Just plain James. Shalom. Super over the wokeness. Amen. Amen. 13 people have been arrested for an alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer and instigate a civil war. 6 people have been charged in federal court and face up to life in prison. I just want to pause here for a moment to read that first sentence again, because I realize some of y'all are stuck in your OODA loop. What are you looking for, son? Negative. 0. We'll put a lock on that door from the outside. Or I'm gonna go to my box. I might need my box of solitude today. I'm gonna climb inside that yellow box. Hey, we need to send that to Storms. There's the yellow box he's been looking for. Some of y'all are stuck in your OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. OODA. You're observing these things that are happening around the country and the world, but you're not orienting on it. You haven't decided that you're going to do something about it. You're certainly not acting on it. And so let me reread this first sentence here and see if there's a phrase or two that sticks out in this sentence. 13 people have been arrested for an alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer and instigate a civil war. 13 people have been arrested for an alleged plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer and instigate a civil war. Please let me reiterate that I in no way want to be correct about what may come next. But gosh dang it, folks, instigate a civil war. 6 people have been charged in federal court and face up to life in prison. The state charges of terrorism for the other 7 could lead to 20 years each. The defendants are reportedly members of 2 different militia groups. I don't necessarily believe in reporting in that, although I could see it, which are tied to white supremacy groups. Don't believe that, according to Michigan's Attorney General. That's why I don't believe that. Quote, there has been a disturbing increase in anti-government rhetoric and the reemergence of groups that embrace extremist ideologies. These groups often seek to recruit new members by seizing on a moment of civil unrest and using it to advance their agenda of self-reliance and armed resistance. This is more than just political disagreement or passionate advocacy. Some of these groups' missions is simply to create chaos and inflict harm about others. Now, I want you to take that statement that I just read, and I want you to pretend that we're talking about Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and let me read that again, okay? Antifa and Black Lives Matter. There has been a disturbing increase in anti-government rhetoric and the reemergence of groups that embrace extremist ideologies. These groups often seek to recruit new members by seizing on a moment of civil unrest and using it to advance their agenda of self-reliance and armed resistance. This is more than just political disagreement or passionate advocacy. Some of these groups' missions is simply to create chaos and inflict harm upon others. So the Michigan Attorney General and the Governor of Michigan are not necessarily very good at their job, based upon my opinion, and ideologically they and I appear to be polar opposites. And so when they issue a phrase such as that, and that these militia groups were tied to white supremacy groups, it makes me take that statement with a grain of salt. It's entirely possible that these militia groups are tied to white supremacy groups. However, the likelihood for that, for me, goes way down because of the source there. And that statement about more than just political disagreement or passionate advocacy, some of these groups' mission is simply to create chaos and inflict harm upon others. Man, well, if the shoe fits, wear it. Pull the plank out of your own eye before you go looking for the speck in your brother's eye. I mean, that's word for word. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the NFAC, so forth and so on. Now, shit that actually matters. GrindstoneMinistries.com. If you would like to help us rescue and rehabilitate victims of human trafficking and sex crimes, the average of which is between 8 and 12 years old, 2/3 of which are female, 1/3 of which are male. The average victim having been raped violently 30 times, the average perpetrator responsible for 70 individuals, meaning that if we are able to arrest one individual, we have prevented 2,100 violent rapes of children. Rather than sit around and pontificate on whether or not the Chinese are going to bring 24 individuals across the border to invade North Dakota, we could do things that actually matter, like support Grindstone Ministries. Grindstone Ministries is our ministry, and it is our ministry because we are 100% grassroots supported by y'all. You can go to grindstoneministries.com right now. We have a massive giveaway going on right now. It's a raffle drawing. There's over $3,000 worth of gear in it. There's plate carriers and plates and ballistic helmets, and custom knives and custom Glock slides and a badass radio setup from Amendment 1 Preparedness, and a swag bag from Sanctified Supply Co., and books that are in there, and bear gear, and all kinds of stuff going on right now. And everybody needs to raise their arm in solidarity with the lovely Dudley. Everybody in the Bear Nation, get that left arm up right now. You don't even need to know why, just do it. So, grindstoneministries.com. You can also, there's a bunch of disaster coffee in that bundle. There's a bunch of hero soap in that bundle. So please check out grindstoneministries.com. Get your raffle tickets. It's a digital online raffle this time around because there were so many tickets last time that we were literally overwhelmed. We spent months handwriting raffle tickets. Praise the Father. So, disastercoffee.com. The world may be a disaster, but your coffee shouldn't be. Disastercoffee.com. Amendment, the #1 preparedness. Amendment 1 preparedness, the best prepper combo that I am aware of. And sanctifiedsupplyco.com, the unofficial, official, unofficial uniform of the Bear Nation, the Stay Humble and Kind shirt. All of these businesses tithe to Grindstone Ministries. You can and should also check out veteransforchildrescue.org. Craig Sawyer is a hardcore dude who's doing hardcore things for kids who have been trafficked. And they need just as much support as we do. So, veteransforchildrescue.org. Vets, the #4, childrescue.org. Silver linings. Quote, I started canning last year just because I had a gut feeling it was something I needed to learn. I'll tell you what, I've been canning a fool this year, and I'm so thankful for all the food we've been able to put away for the upcoming year. God bless you, and thank you for all the knowledge I have obtained through your channel. All praise to the Most High, but good on you for putting food in cans. There's like my favorite thing, second to buckets. Another viewer said, quote, lately we have been taking your advice, putting together our MAG, Mutual Assistance Group, working our large garden, raising chickens, training with weapons, and stacking food to the rafters. Recently, my pastor asked me to do a preparedness class due to the interest of some of the believers in our church. That's awesome. We had nearly 100 people present, plus many people following the live stream on Facebook. That's awesome. There were people following the live stream from as far away as Africa. We covered all the basics: medical and first aid, shelter, water storage and purification, long-term food storage, fire making, alternative energy items, and sanitation and hygiene. During the medical portion, I held up my Bear IFAC and showed everyone how easy it deploys and what is in it. It was great getting out there and helping people understand the importance of getting ready for whatever is coming at us. Thank you again for all you do to inspire the Bear Nation. That's awesome. That's really cool. And two things come to mind during that. If you have brand new people, send them to the Prepper Classroom playlist at this channel. Because each individual thing, Bear, how much food should I store? How many calories do I actually need? How much water? How much ammo? What's actually in a bug out bag? All those things are whiteboarded out in the Prepper Classroom here on YouTube for free. It's completely free. It's laid out in a whiteboard. People can take notes and follow along if they want. Also, your church can drop $40 and get the Prepper Classroom notebook and just work through it as a group. It's the companion to the free videos that are here on YouTube. So that comes to mind. And then also, if you do have large groups of people, whether it's a church or anything else, that are interested in medical gear, email us at sales@Bear Independent, and we will work with you on pricing and availability and colors and contents and all that stuff. So group orders, 10 or more orders, you can email us at sales@bearindependent.com for your agency, your organization, your small business or large business, your church, your sheriff's department, your whatever, man. Your group of badass multicam clad contractors that are going to hop on a C-17 and airdrop into Zimbabwe or whatever. Don't care. Another viewer says, my best friend's dad was diagnosed with multiple stage 4 cancers in late June. Biopsies and a treatment plan weren't decided until August. Biopsies came back today, 100% clean, no trace of cancer. All praises to the Most High. Amen. That is awesome. One of our biggest blessings in our lives, says another viewer, is that 3 out of 4 of our families have secure jobs, secure housing, and all 4 are working on food security. We are not on fire, figuratively or literally, and have few worries of being so. We are blessed. Amen. And of course, if y'all are trying to find people to not be on fire with, forums at bearindependent.com. Go do the things, people. Spend time with people. Do things that matter. Build context. Your prepper group should be people that you want to spend Tuesday with, not just doomsday with. Okay? Let us talk to the Most High. Good morning, Father Yah. Father, thank you for a beautiful morning. Thank you for friends and family and loved ones. Father, everybody in our tribe who's got the sniffles, I just lift them up to you and ask you to heal them and steward us through all these homemade gummy bears. Father, thank you for the best job in the world. Thank you for the opportunity to do this daily and to hopefully speak not just my words, but your words. Father, if there is anything within the sound of my voice that is not of you, we come together in agreement and we rebuke it in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach and command it to flee. I pray that you would fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit, for wisdom and discernment, for strength and power and authority, for perseverance, for love and compassion, and for healing, Father, and for peace that surpasses all understanding. I pray that you would steward us as a body through this Nazirite vow for the next 30-ish days, that our minds would be on you, that you would set us apart unto you, and that you would be indwelt in us for your glory and for your works here on earth, Father. Father, I just lift up everybody in the Bear Nation to you and ask you to mold us and shape us and break us so that you can put us back together to do your things, not ours. That we would be the thing that you fearfully and wonderfully created us to be from the onset of time, Father. That you would use us to build testimony, that people would see us and that they would see you. And that you would continue to walk with us. Father, thank you for making a way home for broken, busted up sinners like me through the blood of Yeshua Messiah. And thank you for continuing to strive with us, that even in our brokenness, you would still relentlessly pursue us and bring us home again. Father, thank you for everybody within the sound of my voice. And I ask all these things in the mighty name of Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. Bless y'all, Bear Nation. Track Ho Ops. Bear out.